Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see how to create the assembly from the given parts. As you can see here, this is our assembly and we are going to create from the basics. From the given parts, we already created the parts here. I created the parts and I am going to bring all the parts one by one and then create a assembly here. Here you can see from the tree, you can see the constraint that are used to create this particular assembly. So let me delete these parts and bring them one by one here so that we can again create the assembly. Okay, right. So here in this menu, in the toolbars, you have product structure tools. With this tool, you can bring the part in the assembly workbench. Just click on the existing component and click on the name of the assembly. So here we have product 3. Click on the product 3 and you can browse from your computer wherever you saved the part. So this is my part number 1. Open it and then part will appear here. Now there are no constraints here. These are the constraints from the earlier geometry. So let me delete those. Now for the first part there are number of constraints available here. So you can see these are the constraints. There are different constraints here. Only one is activated, that is fixed component. Because we have only one part here, so only one is activated. Just click on the fixed component and select the part. So this part will be fixed here. So now you can go to the part and right click here, go to the object and select the degree of freedom. So here there is no degree of freedom because the part is fixed. Now to bring the second part, again similar thing, similar procedure. Select on the existing component, select on the product and bring your part number 2. Open it. So here is the part number 2. It's going inside. So all the parts will appear at the center of these 3 planes. So just to move these parts, we have a command here, move command. In the move command, you have manipulation. Select on the manipulation and you have different axes. So these are the different axis movement. These are the movement in the plane and these are the movement in the rotation about the different axis. So you can select any movement. Suppose this is the movement in the xy plane. If I want to move in yz plane, I can move in the yz plane. So this is the yz plane, and you can do the rotation also. So depending on your requirement, you can move the part for better visibility. So you can move the part, and then you can apply the constraints. Select the axis and move the parts. Right. So now I have moved my part at the required place. Now click on OK and then we apply the constraints here. So there is a constraint called coincidence. Coincidence will coincide or align two axes or the two planes in one line. So select the coincident constraint and close this one. Here automatically the axis will appear. So when you move the cursor, the axis will appear. Just we select the axis. Select the axis here. Select this axis. Select the axis for this particular hole. Now once you are done with the constraint, so this constraint will come here. Next thing is you have to update. So there is a update here. There is update tool here. So you just go to here, click on the update all, or you can press Ctrl U. There is one more option here. From here also you can go to the edit. There is option called update here also. Here. So now it is we already updated. So it is not going to appear. It is not going to be activated. So now next thing, we applied the one constraint. So every time you can just directly go with the go to the part and you can see the degree of freedom. So you go to the object and component degree of freedom. So here the degree of freedom are one is rotation, one is translation. So we need to make the degree of freedom to be 0 because there is no motion is allowed for this particular part. So again we select the constraint here. Again we are going to use coincident constraint, and again similar uh, procedure. Again select both the axes, just zoom in, select this axis and zoom in again. Or if there is a problem with the visibility of the axis, the next thing you can do is just move the part. So again we select this constraint coincident and select this particular axis and here this axis and update. Now we have used two constraints. One more motion is allowed, that is motion in the y direction, or you can say that this vertical direction. So this part can move in this direction. So with these two constraints we have restricted the motion in x and z direction as well as the rotation about the x and z direction. So only motion available is the motion in this direction, vertical direction. To restrict this motion, we are going to use contact constraint. Select the contact and select two surfaces which you want to be in contact. So select these two surfaces and select this update all, or you can press just Control U. So I'm going to press Control U here. Okay, right. So these three constraints are now activated. Without selecting the update option, those constraints will not be updated, the latest one. Similar procedure here. Again you can go to here and check the component degree of freedom. So you go to the part name, right click here and select the right click and select the component degrees of freedom. It's going to show the component degree of freedom, and in this case it is going to be 0. Okay, so once you ensure the required degree of freedom, some parts, if there is a degree of freedom, then you need to provide that particular degree of freedom. Otherwise you can go with the 0 degree of freedom if there is no movement involved with that particular part. Now to bring the next part, again we click on the existing component, select on the product, and we bring the same part here. So again same part. So again the part is going inside this part. Just we click on the move. In the move toolbar there is a manipulation tool. Just click on the manipulation tool and you can move in the particular plane or the movement. You can give the movement about the particular axis. Once you are done with the movement, once you are okay with your part placement, then you can apply the constraint here. So now my part is placed at the correct location. Just let me move the okay, then click on the OK and then zoom in. Next select the constraint here. Select this axis, select this particular axis, again go to constraint and select this axis and select this axis. Now we have applied both the constraint. Again press the Control U. Okay. So now both the axes are in alignment. Now as you can see that both this axis, the axis of this hole and the axis of this hole and these two axes are in alignment. Next thing is we need to apply a contact constraint. Contact means the two surfaces or the two planes will be in contact with each other. We apply the constraint and update the part, update the constraint. Next thing is just check out the degree of freedom. If it is more than 0, then we need to apply some more constraint. So we go to the component name and see the degree of freedom. So there is no degree of freedom. That means we can go ahead with the assembly. Next part we bring is a cylindrical part. So we click on the existing component and click on the product. Now we select the particular part from our computer and we get the part here. Now remove the part at the required location, rotate, and then we use the constraints here. So we use the coincident again, select this axis and select this axis. So these two will be coincidence. Next thing is we can apply another constraint here. So we can go with the contact or the coincident or the offset. There is offset constraint here. With the offset, you can give a distance or the offset value between two required surfaces, two selected surfaces. We select two surfaces and we define offset value here. So let me define an offset value here and update. Don't forget to update every time. Each time whenever you do something, you have to update the parts. Just double click on the dimensions. If you feel that it is lesser than the given value, you can go ahead, change it and update again. So again we go to this part and we check the component degree of freedom. So here degree of freedom is 1. So because it is allowed to rotate on the shaft that is going to come here, so that is why the degree of freedom is 1. That is rotation. Next is we bring the next part. Select the part and bring it here. Then move the part in the required location. Okay. Once you are done with the movement, if you feel that these planes are interfering with the visibility, you can hide them. You can go to the part particular and hide the planes. Then we apply the constraint here. So again I'm going to apply the coincident again. So this axis and this particular axis. Update. So they are in coincidence. So again you can move the part. Again if you want you can move the part and again you can update. So just I'm going to move the part and I'm going to apply one more constraint here. So I go with the contact constraint and zoom in, select this particular surface and make contact with this particular surface. Depending on the geometry and the dimensions given, you can apply the particular constraint and update all. So that will be fixed at that particular place. So once you are okay with the constraint given, then you can go and check the degree of freedom. You go to the component and check the degree of freedom. So here again there is a rotation here. These parts are allowed to rotate. So let me check out this one. You just can move the part and again you can apply some more constraint so that the degree of freedom is 0 for this particular part. This part can rotate, however this can be fixed. So we apply one more constraint here. Just select this surface and select this surface. Okay, so we cannot apply. Now we can check the degree of freedom here. Still there is a rotation. Delete this constraint. Here you can delete this constraints, right? Again you can move the part and you can apply the required constraint. There are number of ways to apply a constraint here. So just either you can select this plane or select the surfaces. I can apply the contact angle constraint here. Select this plane, select this plane here, and apply the angle to be 0, 0, and update. Right. Now again we can check the degree of freedom. It can have a rotation about the x-axis. And how can we stop the rotation? That we need to think about. Again we can move the part and we can try out different constraints. How to stop the rotation on this particular part. We can apply the fixed component and we can fix that particular part at that particular location. So that also we can do it. Now the degree of freedom will be 0. Right. So degree of freedom is 0. If you want to see animation, that also we can do it. So just what we can do is we can go to the here file, not the file, start, and digital mockup. In digital mockup we can go with the kinematics, DMU kinematics, and in kinematics we select here this option, assembly constraint conversion. So let me delete the earlier this mechanism, delete simulation, delete, and we can go with this assembly conversion new mechanism and click OK. Auto create and click on the OK. Now we can go here. Actually the degree of freedom is 0, so we can't rotate. So we need to delete this constraint here, mix together. Okay. Delete this one and again assembly constraints conversion new mechanism, click OK and auto create. Click OK. Mechanism. Okay. Delete this one. Assembly constraint new mechanism. Click OK. Auto create and click OK. Now you can see there is a degree of freedom. There is 1 degree of freedom. Now what we can do is we can go to this mechanism analysis and check out the different type of joints that are available here. You click here, click on this one and this go to joints, and we have revolute joint here. So that we want to that for that joint we want the rotation. So we can select as an angle driven. Angle limit will be minus 360 plus 360. Now the mechanism can be simulated. Next thing is we can go to the this simulation tool and select the mechanism. Click OK. Now you can simulate this particular tool. You can check. See, you can check out here. So it is rotating. So you can see the rotation. Now we can insert here, and this is the frame rotation of frame. So 0.001, that means it's going to be very slow and forward. So you can see the rotation, right? Okay, so this is how we do the animation. Okay, okay, thank you everyone.